Welcome
Welcome.
to the, what are we today?
RnBe?
Well, no, it's D also, so it's RD and B.
It is.
RD
It
and
is
B.
D.
BE has to be at the end all the time. Dylan and I had a talk about this, and our podcast needs to maintain the branding BE at the ending. So it's
D and B.
Dr. B.E.
Yes!
D-R-B-E.
Dr. BE. Welcome to the weekly podcast right here at
Wow.
Comicstorian, which is basically just Benny and Friends.
Benny and Friends. Really?
Which one of you is Aquaman?
It's Benny and Friends.
I'm
Benny-
Aquaman
Benny
because
and the
I'm
other.
I'm just saying
here.
what it's turned into. It's turned into like basically Benny and most of the time Rob, sometimes Gary and Dan, occasionally Sal shows up.
The Rob and Benny experiment. That's really just the Benny experiment.
That's what it's turned into, Mister. I don't show up for every episode.
Well,
I
I
guess
guess
we
we can just drop Rob off the RnBe. And
No, it's today. It's the DRNBE. So it's Dr. NBE.
It's just NBE. And Benny experience. Experiment, yeah. The and Benny experiment.
And Benny experiment.
It'll be the XNBE. I'm just insert here. BE.
X and BE.
Yeah.
So you're an
Solve for
X-Man
X.
now. Oh, you accept that? You're an X-Man?
Only if I'm a cool one.
Which one's the cool
Nobody
one?
wants to be
Nope.
Nightcrawler. All right, I'm just saying. Like,
Who doesn't want to be Nightcrawler?
Okay, I would be Colossus.
You're actually
Really?
the guy
You're
that
not gonna be Wolverine.
explodes.
I don't want to be Wolverine.
You're you're the world's worst X-Men. The guy that just explodes once.
Bailey Hoskins? Yeah. Bailey Hoskins. Dude, just like I love Beast's reaction. It's like, well, we all have to accept our unique gifts. It's a pretty shitty
gosh.
gift, Beast.
Anyway, guys, today this is the RnBe. This is the weekly podcast brought to you by me and Rob, typically, where we go over comic book knowledge, we teach each other stuff, we discuss theories, we go over stuff that's happening in the comic book spectrum. We discuss it. It's right here at Comicstorian. You can also find it on iTunes and SoundCloud, and it's entirely supported by our Patreon and our sponsors. No sponsor today except our Patreon. Patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can get the RnBe episodes early. You can also get early access to a lot of our videos, and you get 4 other podcasts, which include the Conspiracy Cast, where we wow Rob with news on Loch Ness, Bigfoot, and the Men in Black.
Yeah.
You can also get the Comicstorian Weekly, where Dan and I go over all of the comic books that came out this week and we review them. You can also get the Appcast, where Dan and Houston talk about all of their favorite app games that have come out, and you can also get the soon-to-be-released collectible cast, which has no official name yet, but we'll be talking about all the collectibles coming out in the big spectrum of the world.
I mean, I'd say Collectible Cast is the name.
It kind of is, yeah. There's also the Game Cast, so technically we have 6 podcasts now.
Also, me, the editor, is making one soon. Woo, 7 podcasts.
Wow.
We just put names and then cast at the end.
Cast, yeah.
Tends to be what
Walk
we do.
into the store cast.
And if you also want to watch these filmed live, we also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/eligible monster, where we film these live every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, and we do games after all the podcasts. You can also join us over there.
Yeah, you should make a grocery cast.
Oh, we should. It'll just
Yeah.
be you and me going to the grocery store.
I mean,
And we'll just talk about, like, Rob, what do you think about this steak? Well, I want this 16.
I mean, I wasn't serious,
Don't
but
even
okay.
talk
I mean,
about
I'm down with
the
that.
food there.
Well, yeah.
Just have different conversations in a grocery store.
Guys in the grocery store buying food.
That's the name of the show. If you want to watch guys in the grocery store buying food, it'll become a Patreon exclusive. So just join us. Gary gets to go grocery shopping with us.
Yeah, Gary, you got to be the camera guy.
You know, I'm not
We
going to
can
lie.
use the 1DX Mark II. That thing's easier.
I love it when we have our sponsors like forhims.com, and we have our sponsors like the watch company that I can never pronounce properly,
Vincero.
and
Vincero.
Vincero and stuff like that. But at the same time, when we don't have a sponsor, I get to say so many projects
Yeah.
at the front of an episode.
So many things that we're doing.
Okay, so, Rob,
What's up?
remember when we did that whole Disney bought Marvel or Fox situation? It's only down to the shareholders. We can treat it as if it's been bought. It's pretty much a done deal.
No.
That was like a month ago.
Yes, I
here.
remember.
Okay, you remember that episode, right? Remember all the flack everyone on Twitch and YouTube, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are wrong.
Yeah.
It's not official."
Now, I assume when they said we're wrong, they meant we're right. I assume that's what they meant.
It must have been
Because
opposite
we
day.
are.
It was opposite day, Rob, because we're never
Opposite day.
wrong.
I'm never
We're,
wrong.
we're
No.
the two best, greatest, largest, most impressive comic book channels to
No.
ever exist. I don't
No.
have an ego. I don't know what you're talking about.
that is a bit of an understatement or a bit of a misrepresentation. I've been wrong, but I've only ever been wrong once before. So I have been wrong. But
Only one.
Only one
Yeah.
time. He'll never tell you what that time was.
nope.
But anyway,
But I've only
so
been
you
wrong
remember
once
that, right?
before.
Remember they were all like, "You guys are wrong.
Yeah.
It's so wrong." So, news has leaked, guys.
Well, surely like they'll give an apology for being wrong.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
Everyone,
Right.
if you were one of the ones that said we were wrong, that it was not a done deal. that it was not pretty much official, that we weren't supposed to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
I want to see you in the comments down below or in the Twitch chat right now. I just want to say, I'm sorry, gods of comics. Once again, my ego's not that big.
Wow.
I'm very humble.
Gods of comics. I'll just take a sip. I'm sorry.
Rob, I am so humble, you will never meet anyone as humble as I am.
You really seem humble. Yeah.
He is the most humble person in the world.
They named humble pie after me.
I'm that humble.
You're
I'm
that
so
humble.
goddamn humble.
You are so damn humble. The word was invented for you.
I'm so humble.
Jesus.
All right, so as of the time of filming this, which means, depending how the stockholders meeting goes tomorrow, this episode may never go to Comicstorian, the channel. It may just be Patreon, iTunes, and stuff like that. But as of the time of filming this, the stockholder meeting is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so because we film these on Thursdays on the Twitch channel. And there has been a leak, Dan. I'm going to try to rope you into
I
this.
appreciate it. I thought I was invisible.
There has been a
man
leak.
for
There's
a minute.
like you can see it from right here.
Yeah, Gary, the camera's leaking a weird fluid.
Yeah. It's green and neon.
It's kryptonite.
But here's the one important lesson that we have learned. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
He's not wrong.
All right, so
Predator. You
leak-
guys know that line is from Predator. Please tell me you know.
The leak
it's like
has
the
been going
best line
around.
of the whole movie.
No, I know. If it bleeds, we can kill it, and that's the whole line behind the Predator, because the Predator bleeds.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I giggled.
Okay, thank you. Please tell me you know that line.
He doesn't watch Predator. He's never seen it.
You've never seen
I've
Predator.
seen parts, but I actually know that line.
But you've never watched Predator.
I've never seen
I think
the
we're gonna
full
have. I think
movie.
we're gonna have to do a Predator binge night, ending it on Aliens versus Predator.
I have no problem with that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I will do that.
Gary, you're gonna be here for the Predator night. All right. Anyway,
You're bringing your daughter too.
Eleanor's
She'll
a little.
love it.
Yeah, she's a little young for for Predator.
all right. So
definitely for aliens.
Anyway, okay. News has leaked. It's of course going across all of the leak websites, which means it may not be true. Okay, it is a rumor and a leak, but today we're going to assume it is true for the sake of this discussion, because if it does prove to be true tomorrow, when the stockholders go through, this episode's great. It's going on Saturday.
Well, as we know, Buzz Truth is always.
yeah.
They're always right when it comes to leaks. So.
The leak is that X-Men Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants are canceled. Dan actually doesn't know this, other than what I briefly told him. So I'm going to read the article, because we got to stretch this episode out. So,
Dude, it's you, me, and Dan.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
can
say.
stretch the episode.
I know, but I'm helping. I'm helping the situation. Okay? So this, at the time of this, they published this stuff this morning, and I've seen it pop up in a couple times. For all I know, one guy made up a fake rumor and it passed around. So either way, if this proves to be true, then we're gods of comics. By the way, Twitch chat show we should rename RnBe to just gods of comics. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that. Yeah, the gods of comics. That's actually pretty badass.
Yeah.
I like that because it means that when I'm on it, I'm also a god of comics.
You're also a god of comics.
You're like Balder. Like, I'm Loki, he's Thor, you're Balder. You're like,
Balder?
you're there, but you're not always there.
Yeah, we keep you away from everything to keep you safe, so you don't start Ragnarok. So, yeah, that's what that is.
Okay,
Oh
all
my
right, so-
gosh.
This Friday sees the Fox Studios and Disney shareholders voting on whether Disney will acquire the Fox Studios assets. By all accounts, it's going to go through. Which means Disney will get the X-Men, Deadpool, Wolverine, Fantastic Four, and related properties back at Marvel Studios, in addition to other properties such as James Cameron's Avatar franchise, Fox TV, and more.
I am so erect.
Currently, Fox Studios has 2 X-Men movies that are in active development, and they are The New Mutants and X-Men Dark Phoenix, both of which have completed filming, though they are supposedly being reshot. The reshoots are in the works. Now, a batch of rumors has hit the net about the X-Men movie, said to be from an employee of the Fox Studios. According to the rumors,
Welcome to the Complete News Series, where we take little bits of news and we read them dramatically back to you.
according to the rumors, this is where we were right, Rob. The Disney deal is basically already done. And the Disney executives have an active hand in what's going on in Fox, meaning they're already there. The people at both companies want a clean slate.
Yeah.
So New Mutants and the X-Men Dark Phoenix won't be released.
Thank God.
It's further said that both movies are atrocious, worse than Fantastic,
Wow.
with bad storyline and acting, and that the cancellation announcement will come after this Friday shareholder vote. Bear in mind, we're doing this on Thursday, the day right before, because we can talk about it now.
Now here's my question: the person who wrote the screenplay for Dark Phoenix and the person who wrote the screenplay for New Mutants, if it really was that bad of a movie, did they just like drag them out into the street and shoot them? Because it might not be the worst.
It's also one of those, like, who is it worse because of? The director, the writer, the actors?
I'd say all of the above.
Like, there's so many different people where it's like, who's going to get thrown under the bus?
Just have the Men in Black just whisk them away.
Well,
and just put them in a
I
cell
actually have
somewhere.
information of both movies and who's getting thrown under the bus, according to these leaks.
Let's hear it.
Somebody's got to go under the bus.
I mean, keep in mind, so this is a leak, but all of this sounds pretty accurate, okay?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so the leak continues. Ready? As regarding New Mutants, it's rumored that there were problems with the director, Josh Boone, who didn't care about the comic books, but he wanted to make a superhero horror film. It kind of goes in line with what the trailer looks like, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It kind of caught me by surprise when they released the trailer, and I was like, man, I'm afraid this movie's going to be ass. And it sounds like it was.
Yeah.
It's further said that Anya Taylor-Joy had issues with another actor on the set.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Some no-name actress who probably was going to blow up. I say that, and she's probably like some huge Disney star that I don't
Right.
know about.
The Mickey Mouse Club.
The reports about half the movie are being reshot are said to be true, but that the Fox employee says that it wasn't directed by Boone, as Fox wasn't happy with his cut. There were some of us nobodies who were actively involved in trying to warn both Fox and Boone that they're going in the wrong direction with the movie, but we were mostly ignored. Some of us were punished and some were even fired for expressing our concerns. Finally, the execs recognized their mistakes after seeing Boone's cut, and they were faced with two options: release the Boone cut or face yet another embarrassing PR disaster like Fan Fourth Stick, or delay in an attempt to salvage the movie, keeping Boone as the director in name only to save face.
But have somebody else ghost direct the film.
Yep, but bring in new blood under the cover of night and essentially reshoot half the movie.
Wow.
That's insane.
They hired a ghost director.
It's said that when the Disney deal came about, a month ago, all progress on New Mutants stopped right then and there.
Oh, I kind of figured that was going to happen. That if Disney came in and they said, okay, we have the X-Men and Fantastic Four, that it's just like, done. Like we don't care how far it is, we don't care if it's done or anything like that. With something like New Mutants and Phoenix, I can see them just shuffling that off to the vault, and you'll just never ever see it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll release it. No, they said they would release it, didn't they?
Well, I'm going to get to that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so regarding Dark Phoenix, the employee describes X-Men Dark Phoenix as the worst spin-off ever. Also, that the cut
that's
he
saying
saw
something.
didn't even feature Olivia Munn's Psylocke. It's
What?
added that it's added that it appeared as if the cast seemed to phone their performances in. It's claimed that both movies will be shelved, but possibly released years later, i.e. on a streaming service when Marvel Studios has their X-Men universe all set up. The employee also says that the movies will be leaked online before then, as too many people have already worked on these projects.
That makes sense. If you're Marvel Studios and you're Disney, launch your X-Men, get your franchise going, get the wheels going, and let that train be full bore to its destination,
Or
and
they
then release it. That
or
way
they
people won't
release their
confuse them.
first one, and then they go, oh, it's not doing very well. Show them the other one that was gonna happen so that they appreciate it more.
Oh no, not only that. I mean, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to confuse your audience.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be going into it. Okay, this is a Marvel studio. Because I still have people who ask me to this day, is Fantastic Four is that part of where Iron Man and everything is? Like they don't even really know how to ask the question.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're talking about that average person going in and they're seeing Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, please for the love of God, you have Wolverine. And you're going to see them in the MCU, and then at some point you'll see and they won't know how to split the difference.
Yeah.
They won't know what movie resides where.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say definitely.
That's the biggest problem I have with the DC universe right now with their direction. We'll talk about that in a minute more in depth because they've pretty much come out and said that's officially what's happening in the movies. But that no movies connected kind of a deal. You really can't do that in this day and age.
Yeah, no, I think
This
it's
isn't the
step
old day of
backwards.
Dark Knight and Superman Returns. We can be well, they're in the same universe, but they're not.
Yeah.
We'll talk because I've got a few. thoughts
Okay,
on
so there's a few more tidbits, the more important things. I feel like this did, because someone said it sounded like a Reddit leak, and I feel like it did go to Reddit, and then everyone's picking up on it from there.
it. That makes sense.
The Channing Tatum Gambit movie won't be happening. No shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
you didn't need to tell me that.
Mr.
When they said
Sinister,
Channing Tatum, I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Mr. Sinister was never a part of the New Mutants, apparently.
Why?
All right, they're saying that's part of this whole thing.
I feel like if you want to go horror movie, he's the best person to
Yeah.
put in there.
Yeah, he's dark as hell.
Yeah.
Marvel Studios already has plans unofficially for Fox-owned characters such as Silver Surfer and Galactus. So I want to get your
Avengers
theories.
4.
I want to get that theory in a minute. X-Force is said to possibly be retitled, because remember that was going to be Deadpool 3.
Yeah, that was
X-Force.
Deadpool 3.
He said there will be no Deadpool 3. Be retitled by Disney as Deadpool 3 X-Force, and may feature the New Mutants characters, but not Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic, due to her having issues with another member of the cast. And regarding introducing the mutants into the MCU, the Eternals movie will somehow do that.
By introducing the New Mutants into the MCU?
No, the mutants in general.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly how they're going to do that.
Okay, well, you're going to tell me that in a minute.
Here's the funny thing about Anya Taylor-Joy. Apparently her having drama. See, this is a very important lesson to learn, folks. It may be that where you come from, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Where I come from, the squeaky wheel gets replaced. So
Exactly. So the source of all of this is that it came from superherohype.com on their forums.
Yeah.
And that was the guy that claimed to be the Fox employee. And then a Reddit user summarized all the posts into one big collective.
See, that's why I love Reddit occasionally.
Right.
Like, it serves a purpose.
It really
sometimes.
does. Sometimes when something big happens, they're like, here's what you need to know. And you're like, thank you, because I didn't want to look it up.
I'm actually wondering what is superhero hype.
Other than that, it's just a whole bunch of
never heard
bullshit
of it.
politics and cats.
Oh, it's whatever it is, it's got a massive following.
Oh, superhero hype? Yeah, they're huge.
You know them? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen
So
their
I'm
articles
saying,
few
is that
times
a
here and there.
reputable source, though?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are they fully like wiping them and not going to do the Dark Phoenix, or are they going to wipe it and do?
No,
their
it looks
own?
like it's a reboot. Like everything that ever happened in Fox got wiped away.
But like, are they going to make their version of the Dark Phoenix, or are they going to just
That
say
we don't- that we
Dark
don't know.
Phoenix?
If they did, honestly, I could see them doing it in like 10 years after everyone's forgotten about this attempt.
yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you'd have to have a basis. I mean, that's why I tell people Avengers versus X-Men is 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, that's 20 years out. That's a long ways out.
Yeah.
Then it'd be new Avengers versus X-Men by that point. But, I mean, no, dude, God, I have so many ideas running through my head.
Okay,
on
so what do
how
you
to
think about
organize
let's
it,
go in the direction
structure
here.
it.
What do you think about, explain first,
I mean-
who are the Eternals to me and Dan? Because I'm not going to
Oh,
lie.
yeah.
Eternals are not like in my, I know of them, but I don't know.
When you said that, I was just going to smile and nod.
Yeah, so who
yeah.
are the Eternals exactly then?
Okay, remember when Jack Kirby created the New Gods?
Yes.
That was his Marvel version of the New Gods.
Okay.
And basically the Eternals, like when in the early days of humanity,
Didn't they have
Celestials-
something to do with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
No.
Are they the ones that was in Avengers No Surrender? The Grandmaster and the Challenger?
No, those are Guardians, or those are Elders of the Universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the early days of humanity, Celestials showed up, messed with people's genes. All right, they created three groups. They created the Eternals, the Deviants, and the baseline humans. What the Celestials did to people is why Bruce Banner could be exposed to gamma radiation and become the Incredible Hulk instead of having tumors and stuff.
Okay.
The Eternals were basically like heavenly-like beings. They looked like angels.
Okay.
And so in the old stories, the old Jack Kirby stories, he would be like, early humans they would draw pictures of angels and stuff like that. Those are the Eternals. They basically are they're like all have something akin to like Superman's powers, but like they all change individually. But the reason why the Eternals matter is because you had this huge civil war between the Eternals and the Deviants, and some of the Eternals left and settled on Titan.
Okay.
And then some of those Eternals procreated, which is where Thanos comes from.
That's where I know the Eternals
Now
from.
that-
Yeah,
He's
that's
a
where you
part
know
of
the
that
Eternals from.
lineage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this guy Neil Gaiman wrote the Eternals. There's Jack Kirby's Eternals. Neil Gaiman's Eternals is actually really good. It deals a lot with the Celestials. But they would just use the Eternals to explain here's how mutants came into existence.
So you could just say basically the gods snapped them into existence, and here everyone.
That's
out
basically
there
it. They mess with their genes and screw with their genes, and they were like, in 10,000 years, you'll start developing powers, and that's where Selene comes from.
So you could just have you could basically just to introduce the X-Men, use the Eternals to be like they've been messing with genes and almost like the Ultimate Universe, and
Yeah.
now you've all woken up.
Yeah.
And Professor Xavier's existed the whole time, but he was the only one who didn't know what to do or something like that.
Yeah, like literally what you would do is you would have an Eternals movie, and then somewhere in the film, the beginning or middle or whatever, you would do an origin exposition, and that would give you the whole Jack Kirby origin of mutants and Eternals and Deviants, and then done. You've got your mutant population, and then for whatever reason we haven't seen them yet, or their powers just didn't manifest until just now.
You just do it like the Inhumans just did in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They just started manifesting.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. So
And
there's
that's how they handled the Inhumans, wasn't it?
well, no, the Inhumans have been around for a long, long time. It's just nobody had seen them, and because Daisy Johnson, so then they
Well,
started.
because you've been
coming out.
keeping up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but that was an okay season. Honestly, I've forgotten a lot of stuff about it.
I could have sworn that the Royals are out there, but the way they did the Inhumans was kind of like Inhumanity. Everyone just started waking up with the powers.
Yeah, they did that. They did Charles Soule in Inhumanity, and then Charles Soule's Inhuman Run.
Yeah.
Where you had Lash, and then he was running around deciding who can live and die and all that kind of. Yeah, it's the aftermath to Infinity. But yeah, no, they'll use the Eternals to explain the origin of mutants. That's a pretty smart idea.
So
actually.
basically, they'll turn the mutants into the Inhumans. Because that's how the
hopefully
Inhumans do it.
well.
They could. But like I said, I mean, like, just because, like, when the Eternals messed with the early humans' genes, I mean, you're talking about thousands of years before humans popped up, or before mutants popped up. So you had Selene, she was the first external, and then you had
Eternal or external?
external. Those are legitimately immortal mutants.
Okay.
So the only way to kill them is to like decapitate them.
Okay.
But like they're immune to like every disease and illness, and they have
they're
healing
vampires.
factors and all that kind of. Yeah, well, Selene is. She has to absorb life energy. She's like
Oh.
Michael Morbius from Spider-Man.
So she is a vampire.
Yeah, she is a vampire.
I was
But then,
just
like-
making a funny.
And then like 5,000 years after her, you had Apocalypse, and then like the closer you got from 10,000 years ago to 1960, the more they started rising in prominence.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just a time clock on the genes of.
Well, yeah, because if the mutants are going to be wrapped into the Eternals movie, that sounds like an easy way out to
Yeah.
fix
Yeah.
everything without doing
Oh, yeah,
massive
definitely.
retcons or opening a portal.
Opening a portal, and here comes Doctor Strange with the X-Men.
Hey guys, look what I found. Seriously, like there's like one world over. I don't get
Yeah.
it. They were in a world called Fox Hell. I don't.
Yeah, they were called Fox. What the fuck are you doing? It's crazy.
What do you think about all this, Dan? I know you're a huge X-Men fan. That's why I wanted to have you on this episode.
Yeah, no, I'm both. I'm really excited that Fox doesn't have them.
That's the most exciting thing.
It really
That's the most
is.
exciting
Like,
piece of
it's-
news.
That's
I
the
don't know
best
why I'm
part. The Dark Phoenix getting completely scrapped does sadden me a little bit, because I would have loved to see a Dark Phoenix movie
Yeah, but now
if it
you-
was
now you'll
done
see-
well.
Yeah, now
But
you'll see a good one.
you don't want the
Yeah.
shitty one though. I'm not gonna lie. The girl they got playing Phoenix right now, she's great on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, and you know, this is me throwing stones at it. I'm not an actor. I don't know how to act and stuff like that. I just know how to yell into a microphone. But like, I don't feel like she's acting. There's certain actors that are typecast into very specific roles because they're not acting. That's just them.
Yeah.
And I feel like her in Game of Thrones is just her.
I disagree. I think she's actually a great actress.
Do you think she's good at Jean Grey?
I think the issue is the script that she was given. See, I stick to the idea that an actor is only ever really good as the script they get.
Okay,
And
yeah.
if you have a director who's super hardcore about stick to the script, then like you end up with a pretty shitty version of a character. Whereas if it's kind of like, yeah, we can all kind of agree this script sucks, so let's just sort of ad lib here and there, then you end up with some really great characters.
Yeah.
So
That's how you get
And maybe
great
she just didn't
humor.
have the skill
That's
to
what
do
you
that.
get
I mean,
good
I've only
humor.
ever seen her in Game of Thrones and as Jean Grey. What else has she even been in?
nothing, I don't
Who
think,
is it?
really.
Which person?
The
from-
chick that plays Sansa Stark.
Oh,
Sansa,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And she's pretty much just abused and tore down in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up on the end of last season.
Yeah, it was a good ending. Like a year and a half ago.
Well, in my defense, I'm not at a cliffhanger right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not fiending like you.
Yeah, that's true. You take your time getting caught up. Ballers comes back August 11th, by the way.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
okay, so I mean, I don't like her as Jean Grey. Did you like her as Jean Grey in the last movies?
I didn't really enjoy her as Jean Grey, but I also recognize she had the potential to be a great Jean Grey.
You think so?
I think so. I think if given the right script, if given the right kind of director who can give her the right kind of guidance, and it's like, if what they need is a director who's like, I really, really, really care about
There
the
she
X-Men,
is.
and I want to see them done right.
Yeah.
They don't need like a Hollywood blockbuster director. They need a director that knows their shit. So like someone who's either been reading X-Men forever, or someone who is really knowledgeable about the X-Men, who can direct them. No, I don't know if I'd be a good movie director.
Okay, she for the record, she is legit Game of Thrones and X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
She's got a couple like obscure movies in there,
Yeah.
but
I thought X-Men was like her first real foray into
it was.
into
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Okay. So that's so you're basing it off of the script. I'm going. You giving me two. One works. One doesn't.
But that's why I say. I mean, there's not enough evidence to really know. Now, if she
give
goes
that.
on to make like 4 or 5 other movies, and they lack any kind of character depth, well, then it's clearly the actress.
okay.
But if we're just going strictly on what we've seen in Game of Thrones versus what we've seen in X-Men, maybe she really is just that good at playing that kind of character like Game of Thrones, like Sansa Stark.
Because I
But
just feel
it
like
could
her
just be a
Jean Grey
terrible
is
script.
Sansa Stark with red hair.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's how it's just very like stoic, very just like I'm just gonna listen to what everyone says. She doesn't feel very forceful. I always think of the character Jean Grey as being like a very forceful, very like in charge, like woman lead kind of character.
She was later on, but not in the beginning.
I
In the
know,
beginning,
I
she was a
know.
damsel in distress.
You know, X-Men animated series is always like, oh,
Yeah. Scott. Yeah.
Scott to stay with me.
Yeah, Wolverine. Like,
Dad, I'm going to die.
Yeah. It's like Wolverine, let her go, man. Like if you haven't put anything in it by now, you're never going to. Jesus. Oh my God.
Morph.
Morph. Yeah. They killed Morph. It's like, yes, they did, Wolverine. So
Oh my gosh.
I was sad when Morph died. Actually,
Yeah.
that was sad.
So
So here's a question then. If they really are fully swapping over, do you think they're going to recast everyone? Even Wolverine, Hugh
They have to.
Jackman.
Well, Hugh
like,
Jackman's done.
Yeah, he did say that he
Hugh
was
Jackman
done.
said he's done.
You're right. No, he said he's done, but he did say he would love to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
But do you think he's going to do like 10 more movies as Wolverine?
Honestly, man, okay, here's the funny thing. There's a difference between saying Disney's gunning for the X-Men and Disney has the X-Men. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw all those guys in the MCU re-up their contracts now. Because think about it. Like you've got the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and all the Avengers.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Here's the problem is what you were saying earlier with the confusion of like Dark Phoenix Saga. If we put that out, people would get confused. And I feel like if you grabbed all the same people, but you were trying to completely reboot it, you would confuse people because they'd go, no, that he was in this one, therefore it must be in the same.
You would initially, but it would be the launch parties, it'd be the Conan O'Brien interviews, it would be the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, like with Jimmy Kimmel and all that kind of stuff. That's what would set it all to rights. They would parade out Hugh Jackman and Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and they would be the ones that would clear the air.
I just
on
feel
all the
like
movies.
if they did that though, they would also have to. If you get one of them to re-up, you'd have to get all of them.
Well, okay, but I think they can pick and choose. Like, I think being able to pick and choose is what would sort of clear the air. Like, if you've got James McAvoy, as Professor X, and you've got Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and you have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and then you just scrap everybody else and just recast everybody else, then I think it would be just enough familiarity to say, okay, these are X-Men that I'm familiar with, but then also it's whole new territory because they're basically a reworking of characters. Yeah. I mean, I do get a clean slate with new actors and everything is a lot easier. And a lot easier to digest for the average person. But I think Hugh Jackman is so synonymous with the character of Wolverine. People want to see him come back.
I don't know though if the MCU guys are going to re-up though, because you're off to the assumption that they're all super comic book fans, and I want to see Captain America and Wolverine. I mean, Chris Evans does not strike me as a actual comic book fan. Yeah, he reads Captain America because he is Captain America.
He's a comic book fan.
But like to the degree where he would be like, "Oh, I'm on board for 10 more years." Just because
he's not a comic book fan in the sense of like I can name off the best runs of all time.
That's what I'm saying.
But
like they're not on that level where you going, the X-Men are in the MCU now. They're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, sign on."
But here's the thing though, like with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's basically Marvel and Disney going to like Robert Downey Jr. and going to Chris Evans and all those characters and saying, hey, do you never really want to have to worry about money anymore for the rest of your life?
Well,
for
they
any
don't.
reason ever?
They're already at that point.
But I mean, it goes on. I mean, you're talking about never having to worry about work again.
They do. Do you know how much Robert Downey Jr. makes
I know.
a movie?
I know. He makes like $20 or $30 million a movie.
If he spent all of that and pulled a Johnny Depp.
Oh my God!
You've heard of the Johnny Depp thing,
Oh,
right?
I know about the Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah. Johnny Depp's currently out of money in its entirety, and is blaming his financial advisors, and they're saying, "No, we told you to stop buying."
Oh yeah, he went full Nicolas Cage. Yeah. I'm aware of the Johnny Depp thing.
But what I'm saying is, like at this point, it's their issue. It's
but
not.
it's just. But I could see them doing. I could see where they wouldn't.
I mean, Chris Hemsworth said he's done, and he's only back because Thor is being treated as a joke character now.
No, I thought Chris Hemsworth said like he loves playing Thor. He's always wanted to play.
No, he said he was done until Ragnarok. He liked that portrayal, and if they keep doing that, he'll come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he liked the portrayal in Ragnarok better.
I mean, yeah, I could see where they wouldn't want to do it anymore. Like I could see where Robert Downey Jr. is like, I do not want to be Iron Man forever. Well, I'm sorry, Robert Downey Jr. is too late. So you're about 3 movies too late.
I could see being around still.
Yeah.
Because this revitalized his entire career.
Yeah.
He's on board because you've yet to see him go, no, I'm going to pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's turned into like, I'm Robert Downey Jr., I'm Tony Stark.
No.
Yeah.
You want me? As long as I don't got to get in the goddamn suit, I'm good.
I mean, he even says it basically like on his Twitter, just the bio of, you know who I am.
Yeah.
That's totally Tony Stark.
Now, just because I say re-up contracts doesn't mean like Iron Man 4, 5, 6, and 7. I mean just like they're going to stay a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I could easily see it being an instance where they say, okay, we're going to start pushing new Avengers, but like Iron Man will chime in, or Captain America, Chris Evans will chime in.
So you're talking in a cameo role as
Yeah.
opposed to like Captain America 4.
And the only like big roles they play will be like what amount of crossover events.
Yeah.
In
So
movie
kind of
form.
like
So-
Ant-Man and Spider-Man in Civil War.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and I could see them like mixing things up in weird ways. Like Thor and Drax the Destroyer go on some adventure, which would be amazeballs. Dude, I would love to see that movie. A Thor Drax the Destroyer movie? Like a
They
buddy
need to
cop
start
movie?
getting creative with those crossovers, man.
Yeah, they do. But there's a zillion different things that they could do. So I could see them re-upping their contracts in the sense that they're like, They just do cameo roles, small roles, and they're like, I'll only be part of like one Avengers movie. And that's the only time I'll ever actually put on the Iron Man suit and go do stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he doesn't wear it at all anymore, from what I understand. Isn't it all green screen and he's just in a booth and they control it with CG?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't get in the suit at all anymore. Like, that was a part of his contract as of like 2 or 3. Like, he will be Iron Man, but he doesn't wear the suit past like the football shoulders.
I don't know, man. I'd want to wear that suit all the time. And I imagine it's also uncomfortable as
That's
well.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's like, was it the guy, who was the guy that did, it was Agent Smith and then he did Red Skull?
Oh, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. No matter what they pay him, he's like, I'm not putting that makeup on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was insane. Yeah, somebody asked me about that, and I was like, no, he did an interview, and he was like, the problem is that like the makeup was like 5 or 6 times longer than the shoots.
Yeah.
So I would sit there for hours and hours and hours wearing this like painful makeup and a whole costume get up for like a 30-minute shoot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus. Yeah. He hated it.
Yeah, no, the Twitch chat saying he only actually wore the suit in Iron Man 1.
Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, that was part of his contract. Like, because I'm pretty sure he was only initially signed up for like 3 movies.
Yeah.
Because this is before they kind of thought out and like got everyone up for like 6 or 7 appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he re-upped with the change to his contract. I don't have to wear the suit anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that, because I remember reading somewhere about that.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that. I'm not.
I mean, it makes sense.
I'm not verbatim. No, I hate it when they're like, "Well, Benny said it." No, you're wrong.
Oh yeah. No, but I'm saying
I'm telling you now.
it makes sense for Robert Downey Jr. because he is getting older, and it does take a physical toll on his body, I imagine. Although apparently he's huge into yoga. You ever watch his Instagram videos? Yeah, he's huge into yoga, man.
Huh.
Dude, he has what looks like the most comfortable living room ever. Dude, if you watch those videos, there's just like pillows and shit everywhere.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah, he's all about it.
Oh, dude, it looks amazing. I'm just like, I really want to hang out here.
Spider-Man: Homecoming, when he was at that party in India.
Yeah.
I legit don't think. I think that the cameras just showed up to his place.
Yeah.
And he just filmed him at his own party.
Yeah. No, dude. I want to go hang out.
Guys,
like,
I'm not going anywhere, but I'm throwing a party. If you want to just say that this is where I'm at, just show up with a Ferrari that Tony Stark's driving, and I'll walk out and get in it.
Yeah, I want to go to Robert Downey. Like, I want to go to his house one day, and I bet it's like the most zen place ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dude, it would be so awesome.
That would be
Okay, so we're way off topic, guys.
Yeah.
That's
we are.
part of the course for us.
Robert Downey Jr.'s house.
Okay, so back to the Dark Phoenix situation.
Yes.
As far as all I've ever seen on it has been images of like her burning as the Dark Phoenix. Have you guys seen anything else on that whole movie?
There's been the only part of the movie we saw was when Deadpool showed up, and that's the only part of the movie we saw. That was it.
Yeah,
That'll be funny that we never see his crossover.
Yeah, that'll be a little like I would just want to see that scene. Actually,
Yeah, just
give me
pull
like
out
that
that scene.
5 or 6 minute segment, and then I'll just be like, okay, that's all I need to see. Awesome, and then just
So okay, let's talk about some of the other stuff though. X-Force being changed back to Deadpool 3.
not a huge
Smart.
deal for me.
But
I think it's smart.
I think it's smart
I think
branding-wise.
branding-wise, I think it's smart because people will just hear X-Force, they'll think just X-Men, and not everyone's gonna go, "Oh, is Deadpool in that?" Because they don't know the X-Force. But putting Deadpool 3 X-Force, you get everyone that knows X-Force to go, as well as people who are like huge into Deadpool now. And they go, "Oh, it's Deadpool with the X-Force."
Yeah, you tap both sides of the table.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, the only problem I have with that is Disney. It says that Disney's going to change the name. So if this rumor is true, doesn't that mean that Disney is getting involved, even though they said they wouldn't be with Deadpool?
Well, I mean, but let's be honest though. Like, from the time Comcast dropped out, and I would say even before the time that Comcast dropped out, Disney already had their hands in that cookie jar. Like
That's what these rumors are.
Yeah, they were already
Disney
way
has
involved in
been
those
there,
things.
just waiting for that official stockholder meeting to go down.
Well, I mean, even Feige said that. He's like people were asking him like, what's the deal with the X-Men and the fans? He's like, I'm just waiting on a phone call to tell me that we have the rights. So I mean, it was only ever a matter of time. I mean, there was no way Comcast was going to win that deal. Too much money's coming out of Disney's pockets. There's way too much money to be made because the MCU is already a multi-billion-dollar deal. So Disney's just like, hey, look, guys, barring that we do like an AOL Time Warner merger that's $120 billion. Like what we're talking about here is we'll like over the next 20 years, we'll double or even triple the amount of money that we spend buying these properties from Fox. So yeah, like there's so much money to be made there.
I mean, we're not going to go into it again, but it's not even just the MCU. They're gaining so many movie projects.
There's so many other things that go
I'm
into
really
it.
looking forward to them trashing Aliens. The new Aliens movie comes out, and they just got the Marvel quips going in there.
Alien Queen's
Ridley
a Disney
comes out, and
princess.
she's like, I'm ready to wipe the goo off.
I don't think you're going to see any change in the Alien movies. Yeah, I don't think Disney's going to put their name to it. They're just going to be movies that are there. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's just, I mean, branding wise, just in terms of allowing them to because the issue here is that if Deadpool had just been called X-Force, it would have limited their ability to like jumpstart into X-Force.
Yeah.
Whereas if they have just an X-Force movie, it may not even involve Deadpool. So
that's true. You could do Deadpool. I mean, I understood the branding wise. You and I, when we're titling videos, like sometimes like it's a great story that we love, but we have to be like Batman cameos for 1 minute.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the big thing of what Disney's going to do is not touch what it is and just handle the branding and the marketing.
I mean, I just did
And
that
just
recently.
kind of like, what?
We just did that recently.
Yeah.
Deadpool versus Ghost Rider. He was there for like 2 pages.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like Deadpool
Exactly.
versus Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you just put that in there, and I have a feeling that they'll let them do the movie so the movies stay good, but they'll just say, okay, we know from experience that we should sell this like this so that we sell it to more people.
Yeah.
I could see that be the extent of them messing with like Deadpool and Aliens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Deadpool's already got a winning recipe,
Yeah.
Oh,
so you don't really want to mess with that formula too much. I mean,
You don't
and-
want to be known as the people that messed with
Yeah,
that and then
yeah.
ruined
Disney
it.
does
They're
not want to be
already
the
known
ones
as
who
people
screwed
that
up
are messing
Deadpool.
with Star Wars a little too much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, hey guys, welcome to Disney. We're the ones who screwed up Deadpool. We screwed up $1 billion film. Yeah, no, I don't. I imagine from like a film standpoint, from a name standpoint, that'll be the extent of it. I think that Ryan Reynolds will come in and they'll just be like, hey man, do what you do.
Yeah.
And just get in there and make the damn movie and be done on time.
See, I don't know if they're going to do that though, because Disney is known for not letting people just do what they do. They just fire you and move on.
Well, but I think in the
They just
in the-
fired James Gunn for saying something 10 years ago.
Yeah, within 12 hours of the news breaking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Within 12 hours and 10 years of him posting it.
Within 12 hours of 10 years.
We do need to talk about that eventually. That's probably a weekly poll topic though.
Yeah, probably.
I think a big thing that just all comic book movie people need to understand is don't get a good director. Even if it's a mediocre director, get someone who knows the content.
Passionate
Yeah.
director.
They know, like, it's the
The
same
thing that bothers me
with
is, why isn't it a
Avatar.
comic fan?
Exactly. Like, it's the same thing with Avatar The Last Airbender. That movie. The guy had never seen the show. And that's why the movie was trash. Like, you need someone who is a huge fan. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why Deadpool is so good.
Yeah.
Is because Ryan Reynolds is such a big Deadpool fan.
That's why Guardians is so good, because James Gunn likes the Guardians.
Exactly.
That's why they do so well.
Because you can feel their passion bleeding off into the movie.
Yeah.
Whereas other people, they're just like, well, I know how to make a good movie, therefore I'm going to make an amazing movie in the way that I want. And it's like, no, because you're doing it to people who are fans. And I think as long as they don't mess that up with the X-Men, is if they get an X-Men fan to make their X-Men movies, I think we're going to get some great stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
agree.
there's like, that's the crazy thing is because I mean, like this whole time, like right now, like I'm thinking of a zillion ways. Like they do the eternal origin of mutants, and then like the mutant gene is like, okay, no, they give us the origin of mutants in terms of the Eternals, but they use the Ultimate Universe explanation in terms of why mutants exist now. The
They're
genes,
gonna have to-
have always been there.
Unless
it's
they're
just
going
they
to
woke them up.
reboot or open
Yeah.
a portal, they need
Yeah.
to do like and now the mutants are around. And what you could easily do is you could still have Xavier and still have had Xavier doing this for good. You could easily be like, this is Xavier, and because he doesn't have Cerebro, he only found 2 X-Men.
Yeah.
And this is his little group. And oh no, X-Men are everywhere now, so he's going to go recruit people.
Or Xavier was aware of all of them and he was mostly focusing on keeping everyone from attacking them.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a zillion ways to do it, but still, like I mean, I think like comic book fans, I think would be great in an advisory capacity.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of sitting down and saying, hey, look, guys, like I've been reading this source material for 23 years. I can give you some pretty damn good pointers on what direction you should go in or how you should handle this character or that character.
I saw you tweet out, what was it, CB's...
CB Cebulski?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Someone asked Rob why he doesn't join the creative team at Marvel, and he responded with, because they don't pay attention to people like me. Tag.
No, that's not what I said.
What was it you said about that?
No, what I said, I was the point that I was making is like my word is not an absolute.
Right.
There's no reason they should have to listen to me. Like I mean, I've been reading comics for a long time, but I'm one of a lot of people who have been reading comics for a long time. And there's people out there who could absolutely dwarf me with their overall comic book knowledge. So
Yeah,
like,
Comicstorian. I hear that guy's great. Much better than you.
but I've heard. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who've been reading comics for a very, very, very long time who would be far better in an advisory capacity than I ever would.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're so knowledgeable and they're so aware of the whole system. But no, that was a response to that. Is I was like, I'm just one person with an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all that is.
But he still tagged the
But
guy, which I find funny.
That definitely would be something that if they do go for that director that's amazing but never read it, have someone there to be like, hey, I understand what you're going for, but this person would never do that.
Well, that's why I say like you need like a comic or a group of comic book fans who have been reading it. See, that's why like when you had Bendis and those guys in the MCU, especially when it came to like Jessica Jones, you got some amazing movies because you were talking about guys who had been in the industry, been either writing those characters or knew about those characters in comics and so on for years and years and years and years. And so you take that and you roll it in, and like they're there every step of the way, from the initial formation of the idea to the screenplay to the directorial system to the cutting.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole 9 yards. They advise throughout the whole process, and they're like, don't do this, do that, different things like that. And I think that's the role that comic book fans should play when it comes to comic book movies, because what you end up doing is you kind of end up getting this best of both worlds. You get the comic book fan who's there and says, hey, here's a direction we should take things in, which means you're going to start hitting with the comic book audience.
Right.
And then you've got your director there who's like, well, we should do this, so let's figure out a middle ground, which will resonate with your non-comic book reader.
Yeah.
So you basically get like the entire gamut of the whole thing. And you get everybody reeled in. You get everybody roped in because now they're all invested. So I don't know. No. Pitching ideas, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you got, Dan? Let's get your closing thoughts on this whole thing.
My
Yeah.
closing thoughts?
Yeah. Are you excited?
These were our closing thoughts. yeah.
I'm excited that Fox doesn't have them anymore, and I'm glad that they really, from what we have been hearing about the initial thoughts of the movies, it's a really good thing they're scrapping them.
Yeah.
Because if even like some of the people in the movie say it's a bad movie, I think that right there says enough.
Yeah, I really hope they don't get rid of a lot of the great versions, because I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto. I love James McAvoy as
I can see
Professor
them
X.
doing a fresh start, though.
I could, but that'll be the most disappointing thing to come out of it.
Yeah.
Is to see some of those awesome versions of the characters that we know wiped away and removed. Because honestly, man, if I'm being 100% honest, I think McAvoy and Fassbender, I think Jennifer Lawrence just phoned it in like she's been doing for the last 3 movies.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if
she
you
hates
had
that makeup.
Yeah, if you had Fassbender and you had McAvoy and you had Hugh Jackman under the Disney banner, working alongside, like I think it would be such an exciting thing that you'd be able to feel it in the movies, and I think they would do an amazing job. It would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
All right, last thing for you two before we close out this episode of the RnBe right here on Saturdays at Comicstorian. You can also find it on iTunes and SoundCloud. And if you're watching it live, you can watch it every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday when we all get together and film these podcasts over on twitch.tv/Comicstorian. No, twitch.tv/EligibleMonster. and it's also giving you early access over on a Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. That's that one where you get 6 podcasts now, apparently, plus early access to our videos. We film a lot of things.
He's not going to try and name them because he always forgets at least one.
I got them all this beginning.
I know, I always
Conspiracy
screw it up
Cast,
there. Yep.
the EMP, which is our gaming podcast, the Appcast. I know. What did you guys name that officially?
That's the Appcast.
It is the Appcast because I wasn't catching on.
None of us will ever say something else because we always forget.
Right. Okay. So Comicstorian Weekly,
Yeah.
Conspiracy Cast,
Yep.
and early access to the RnBe's.
Yeah, and soon to be the collectible cast.
So 7? I thought I said that in the 6.
The grocery list cast.
The grocery list cast.
The we go play Pokemon Go and you guys watch us do it so cast.
We thought about doing that as part of
I'm gonna
our
do it like this.
podcast. We'll just play Pokemon Go and podcast while doing it.
Huh. Wow.
Anyway.
Yes.
They said they have plans for Galactus and Silver Surfer. What do you think those plans are?
Infinity War or Avengers 4.
You really think that soon we're going to get them?
I would see it the one after. I would see Infinity War finishing up, and then after that they go into, okay, here's Galactus, here's Silver Surfer again, here are the X-Men, and kind of go, we're finishing our
Well, just because they have
Avengers
plans for them doesn't mean
Infinity.
they're going to be like have an active role. Like,
I mean, I could see like small appearances, but I think as a whole, I think Avengers 4 will complete what's going on, and at the end of it, it will be like an explanation as to why. Maybe if it's even like a after credit scene of, the Earth is great, and you just see like Galactus.
The Cloud.
Just going, or you
The
see like
octopus
Silver
cloud.
Surfer like start going towards the planet. Something where it's like a hint of this is where we're going, but I don't think they would play a big role.
yeah. No, I can see them. Okay, either that or I can see them like as a post-credit scene. But no, I can see like a Silver Surfer and Galactus situation where Silver Surfer's like, we should act during Avengers 4, and Galactus is like, that's not our fight, and I'm hungry, so like go find some shit for me to eat.
What if
Like
Avengers 4 ends, right? Everything's happy-go-lucky, everything's over, and at the very, very post-credit scene, Silver Surfer crashes into Doctor Strange's sanctum, and he's like, he's coming. That's all you get.
Yeah.
That's the post-credits.
Wow.
But
It's got to be the Fantastic Four that fight Galactus the first time.
Well, I'm just saying, what
Yeah.
would you do if that was the post-credit scene?
Oh, I'd be hyped. Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah.
who's coming?
Well, if
It's Galactus!
It's Galactus. It's a giant guy with a purple head.
If it's Fantastic Four, instead of having him crash into Doctor Strange, do a post-credit where it's clearly Mr. Fantastic working on something as like this happened because Thanos was here. We have to prepare for next time. And then he crashes in.
I like Long Charge response. Doctor Strange's like, again?
Quit crashing into my house.
There's a door, people!
All right, we're going to close with this episode of the RnBe. You can find it right here next Saturday or on the YouTube channels. Find us on iTunes, SoundCloud. Give us some great ratings. We really would appreciate it. You can also find us on Twitch on Thursdays at twitch.tv/ALittleMonster. And you can also go to the Patreon and get it like really early, almost like a week early. And now I'm Shaggy. Oh, Shaggy, we're going down.
That was Scooby.
I know, I switched over. I switched.
Yeah.
Doesn't remember
We're
the
done with the
difference.
episode.